At least, what was it? The last time this bullshit happened, we wasted like the first 20 minutes of the show. I think this time we only managed to waste 5 minutes. You know what that means?
We're getting better at getting worse.
That's right. We're improving in our de-evolution.
I mean, the challenge of trying to record songs or edit music videos or broadcast or simulcast or whatever. It's just constant troubleshooting, constant patching and fixing and troubleshooting. It just seems like every which way I turn in the creative process, computers and software are there to frustrate me, uninspire me, and prevent me from creating. So, thanks, computers.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
you can thank Bill Gates for that, especially if you're using a Windows-based computer. You can thank Bill Gates. And
I
while
was just
you're
trying to
at it,
record something on the keyboard the other day for Dead Fella, and Studio One wouldn't work. So going to the iLock manager and this and that, and the other five different fucking things, blah 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 blah. 40 minutes later, I'm like, man, I don't even hardly remember what I was gonna fucking play at this point.
right?
Fuck it, I'm just gonna record it on the cell phone so I can at least remember the goddamn melody. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Computers are not making it easier at all. I could do shit with cakewalk and MIDI cables at St. Mildred Arch Abbey in 1993 that I apparently can't do today. It's like that whole thing of, oh, we had like cars driving on the moon, but we forgot how to do that.
Well, we had to use that storage space. We had
Yeah.
to over like you remember back when we had VHS and Betamax.
Hmm.
There's probably people listening that think I'm talking Chinese right now, but uh, no, it's you only had so much space to record, and it's not like I don't know I was like 8 years old or something. Like it was, hey, I need more shit to record on. Parents were like, go get a job.
Bro, I had a really douchey, snobby friend that had even better than the beta or the VHS.
Laserdisc.
They had a fucking laser disc machine.
Oh, that was the shit, man. Because
God
it
damn.
was like the Xbox or the PlayStation
And the
before
motherfucking
those things
Lucasfilm
existed.
surround sound speakers and shit too.
Yeah.
But they had the BOSC, the Bose fucking, the small ones. Like, but they were all around. Like, I don't know, 12. But god damn, man.
Yeah, that was the setup
And
back in the day.
they had the bomb ass popcorn machine down in their little den TV area,
Oh, so
and
they
they
had
had one of
money.
those pop machines where like it puts the bubbles in it, where you can make the homemade soda pop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. They had it kitted out, is what it sounds like. I
Oh
helped a
man.
few people design some rooms like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it had a bar with the liquor and the ice and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why do you think I was there? Why do you think my rich snobby friend had Yona there? Take a guess.
You were the token Indian.
I was token, but he liked to toke too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I was
Where else,
right.
where
You
else
were the
was he
token
gonna get it?
Indian.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got to invite a Yona over. Don't you want to get high? Like, well, I already got weed. Yeah, but it's not Yona weed.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of
I
the
mean,
Yona
do
weed,
you want a head change or are you really trying to get fucked up? It's Mayday, motherfuckers.
that's right. It's a holiday weekend. It's starting on a Thursday. I can't remember the last time a holiday weekend started on a Thursday. Thanksgiving, I guess.
And we also celebrate the 151st running of the Run for the Roses at Churchill Downs, the 151st Kentucky Derby Festival
Oh yeah, the
in
the second
Thomas
largest
Jefferson
outdoor
County,
cocktail
Kentucky.
party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get your derby hat. Oh, and I've heard some people call it the Hillbilly Hunger Games. It it
Well,
it it, it feels like that because I've been on both sides. I've had tickets that Dad got from William Scott or Jimmy Higdon, who are Kentucky legislators in the state legislature. So and they get box seats up in the
Right.
skybox, behind the glass.
Right.
Um,
Away from the
and
rabble.
yeah, like where I got to rub shoulders with Hollywood people like 3 times.
Hmm.
And normally, okay,
I
if
think it
I was
was
like one of those,
easier back then.
if I was one of those normal type internet like clout shouting, um, look at me, I'm on the internet, motherfucker. Now I would start name dropping all the famous people I've shook hands with. But here's the
Right.
thing about it. See, I'm not one of those pretentious, obnoxious people.
Well,
Now,
it doesn't matter anyway.
here's the thing. They all got to shake hands with DJ High Yona.
That's right.
So who the fuck are they? It's about me,
I'm
motherfucker.
just thankful that Gary Coleman got a chance to meet me before he died. Because
Wow.
he died really, really young. So
Yeah.
there's a chance that could never have happened. But fortunately, it did.
I mean, different strokes for different folks.
That's
Dana
right.
Plato, like, got all, Playboy and then the drugs. And then,
That's right. And we never
um,
got a chance to meet. So you see what the result
oh, and
was.
speaking of drugs, Todd Bridges, ooh, and what did Mr. Drummond do?
No, he was probably a
Oh, he
pedo.
just died.
He was a pedo.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
why he adopted 2 little black boys. He was like, "Oh, I want to have some toys at the house."
What you talking about, Willis?
What's that in your mouth, Willis?
Oh man, it's hard to believe it's been a week since the accident. Like, but then again, I've only been home for like 2 days.
Yeah, you've only been home, a couple days. So it is kind of easy to believe it's been a week. So,
Oh
all
my
right,
god.
let's get right into that then, because you and I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to talk about it. I've been trying to let you rest and recuperate and do all that as best I can without bugging you too much. So, like, I'm gonna assume that it was the other driver's fault, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was already in the intersection. He didn't see me already there, and he just ran right over me. I mean, waiting on a red light to turn green. There's 5 lanes of traffic on my side of the intersection. And if you continue across the intersection, it's just a 2 lane road that immediately makes a 90-degree bend and shoots straight up the hillside, almost like a frontage road to the very road it crossed because it's running parallel to it, but it's now going straight up a goddamn mountain,
Right.
like a ski slope. And then the cross street itself is the good old 5 lane strode, 4 lanes with the center turn lane. Um, strode, 5 lanes of death.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
We've covered that on a previous episode.
yes. So I'm sitting at the light, and it's a classic 1950s McGregor stoplight where the orange paint, and there's just three. There, you got the red and the
Right.
yellow and the green, and that's it. Even though there's a 3
5
stack
lanes, yeah.
lane at the intersection, so there's no special turn arrow or anything. And since there's only 1 lane that goes across the road to make the 90-degree hairpin to the right and go up the hill, the left hand, the leftmost lane and the center lane are both turning to the left to go up the 4 lane road. Right? Makes sense. Or if you need to turn right, you have to do that from the right hand most lane, which is also to go straight. So I'm in the center lane. There's 2 cars to my left, and there's 3 of us waiting on this light to turn. Well, light turns green. Both of them fucking dog it.
As you do.
And I'm putting it along. And as I'm putting around my corner, here comes motherfucker down off that hill, flying around the corner, and blam, straight
Wow.
in. I steered to miss him, and he steered right into me. I was doing about 3 mile an hour. He was doing about 40 mile an hour.
Hmm. Well,
And
that's yeah, that's enough to break some bones.
when his headlamp hit my headlamp, our cars got locked together, and he spun my car around about 90 degrees.
Hmm.
But because of the way it hit me on a skew, my head went down and to the right to where I almost hit the like the radio with my forehead,
Oh wow.
such that when my head then snapped back, snapped over to my left hand shoulder,
Hmm.
um, and popped, and I saw stars and bright light for a couple of seconds. I thought I was going to pass out, and my head just completely missed the headrest
Oh
at the top
wow.
of the seat because of the way I was hit. I was like, I didn't go straight forward to the steering wheel and then straight back. I
Right.
was like on this diagonal type action, and so I snapped forward and down to the right. Then my head goes back and to the left, like,
Oh, so
and
you
that's
did
how
you did
and
actually
that's
get
how
to
Yona was.
recreate the Kennedy motion.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's how Yona was injured on the grassy knoll in Cincinnati. And Corey Hughes will tell you, you can see the guy standing back there wearing the Jew robe
Yep.
regalia
Yep.
stuff. And the
It's got
shoes
the
give him
tiny
away.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the tiny hat and the fucking shoes. God damn it. Fucking everywhere.
Damn. So
Shabbat shalom.
you went all day Thursday, like taking care of all the bullshit that you had to take care of, literally with a broken neck, not
Well, I
even
kept
knowing it.
complaining on the phone like twice on the phone with the insurance company. They said, "Were there any injuries?" I was like, "Yeah, I was injured. I need to go see a doctor." Well, when are you going to do that? When I get off the phone with you, motherfucker. I mean,
Right.
God damn. Well, turns out, um, funny story. Even though the bank required me to have full coverage insurance
Hmm.
for the car,
Right.
and then of course there's also Ohio minimum coverage
Right.
for an Ohio driver. All things considered, paying almost $300 a month, $300 a month for my
Jesus.
insurance,
That's fucking
three hundred
insane,
dollars a
dude.
month
That's
for
insane.
full coverage. Wink, wink.
I haven't paid more than 100 a month since I was like in my 20s.
They then tell me that I am completely on my own. There is no coverage for me as the driver of my own vehicle or the owner of my own policy for any injury whatsoever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's something they started doing. Ooh.
Oh, we
I
only
don't
insure the vehicle. We don't insure the
Well, no,
person that's paying for the
they
policy.
insure the vehicle, right? And then they will insure the people in the other car if it's determined to be your fault. But you're right. They don't insure the driver depending on who you have your coverage through. I think there are still carriers that will allow you to add that coverage to your policy, but I believe it
You
comes
have to
in the
pay for it
form.
extra.
Yes, you pay extra for it, and it comes in the
Personal
form
injury
of a
protection.
rider, which is basically an addition to the policy that the insurance company can cancel anytime they want to, while the policy itself remains in force. Like
That's right.
riders are really like skeevy contracts.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. In general, like for the average individual, no, they're not going to cover the driver. And the thing here's the fucked up thing about it
I
is,
did not know that.
yeah,
I know a
well,
lot
no,
of things. I speak a lot of languages. I
well, you
am
don't speak
still
insurance,
reeling. I'm still reeling from the fact that I was forced to pay out the nose 3 times what I would have had to pay for my regular insurance because I had to have super duper full blown fucking coverage. So because of fucking Ally Bank out of Fort Worth, Texas. And I
it's
do all
again,
that. And in
it's
the
all about
end,
liability.
I had to jump through all these goddamn hoops
Mm-hmm.
until I could go see about my broken neck for the uh Copart and the all this everything to do with the machine, the vehicle. But then when it came time for me, every time I called the insurance company to talk about my X-rays or my injuries, and I just kept getting, oh well, we'll call you back. Well, we'll check your coverage and let you know.
Now, all
And
right,
then finally, I was like, so y'all
question
don't
for
give a
you.
fuck about the person that pays the premium. You only care about the inanimate object.
Correct, because in this scenario, if you are not determined to be at fault in the accident, then who you need to be talking to about your medical bills is the other guy's insurance company. They are the ones responsible for your injury if he's determined to be at fault.
Right.
Like I say, your insurance company ain't going to do shit for you.
And then I called two different lawyers. First one in Ironton. And he says, oh, but that accident happened in Cincinnati. I'm like, yeah, Ohio. And we're in Ohio. And we're next to this river called Ohio River. And spoiler, Cincinnati's next to Ohio. Now, granted, if we didn't have a car or we were in Spain with no power, we could just float down the middle of the river on our ass on a hollow log.
Right.
We'd be in Cincinnati in a few hours,
That's right. You
maybe a
could get to
day.
the courthouse, no problem.
So I don't understand.
There was
And he's like,
a
"Oh, I
shift.
only practice in this county."
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. So then I'm like, all right, well, let me. So I'm going through, and I'm like, oh wow, this is the biggest fucking uh ambulance chasing outfit in Cincinnati. Call them up. Oh, we only take cases where we're the plaintiff, and you need a defensive injury attorney
What?
that practices in Hamilton County, because not all Ohio attorneys practice in all counties. I'm like,
What?
what? Any other state I've worked in, if you're licensed as an attorney at law in West Virginia,
You can work anywhere in the state.
you work anywhere you want in the state. When I was had my surveyor's permit in Texas, I could work on any job with another surveyor
Yeah,
in all 250 counties of Texas.
exactly. When I had my insurance license in Virginia
Uh,
or Maryland or West Virginia or Pennsylvania or any other fucking state I was licensed in, I could work anywhere in the state. Didn't fucking matter.
Maybe it's just a thing of the lawyers are like, I only work in this county because I'm a douche.
No, I think it's just their way of saying no
Yeah,
without you figuring out that they're saying no.
yeah. They're just saying fuck off in the most polite way possible.
No, I've talked to some folks at legal offices recently. Trust me, it's amazing how lawyers these days seem to not want any fucking business at all.
Yeah.
I don't
They got
understand
the
how does that work. How do you stay in business? How do you create income when you're constantly refusing clients?
because the whole attorney thing is just a front. Gus Fring is actually, well, he just washes clothes. Gus Fring just washes clothes at the laundromat. Anyway,
Yeah, and fries chicken.
that's right. Really good chicken.
Yeah, but apparently it's excellent chicken.
Chicken to die for. Ask the chemistry teacher.
There you go. No, it's the insurance situation in this country. Not that in other parts of the world it's any better. I mean, insurance is a scam to begin with. It's literally just there to sap money from people. Because whenever a claim needs to be paid out, there's always going to be hoops that you're going to have to jump through. It's never going to be a thing of, well, the policy states this, so we're going to cut you a check. That's not how it works anymore, if it ever did. And
it
I'm
really
starting to
is so
suspect it
beautiful.
never worked that way.
It's so beautifully fucked. It's really elegantly criminal. Just the way
Hmm?
the whole system comes together now. Um, and I've had nothing but time on my hands. I can't really get around very easily. So ventured back on, which I need to turn. Let me log off of Discord because I've done everything to turn the notifications off, and it's still just buck up, buck up, buck up, buck up. It makes goddamn racket no matter what I touch. There it went again. There it went again.
I'm not
God
hearing it.
damn, I hate fucking Discord.
It's not coming across, so it's not
That's
bothering
good.
us, but
That's
maybe it's
good.
driving you
But I mean,
nuts.
it's aggravating every 15
Right.
seconds there. Badoop, badoop, badoop. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? I turned all that shit off, but I dumped it. So I went been spending time on some of these uh places on Dick Sword.
For what places?
Well, the last time around, it was my Norwegian friend that dragged me over, or was it my Australian friend? No, the dude from Helsinki, which is neither of those. That would be
Sweden?
Finland.
Finland.
But anyway, so that
Okay,
was the
so he's a
intellectualist.
Finn.
Um, and so it gets me over to the intellectualist, Yarmo, and Swopaska Yarmo, for those that speak Suomi. Anyways, so means eat shit. Um, so because but in a friendly way, because we're chums. We bust each other's balls.
Right.
So, and of course, the worst fucking stereotypes of Americans are on intellectualists because it's a real international group. Turns out every country has spies. Anyways, yeah, after a couple of weeks, I was like, oh my god, it's terrible. It's terrible. And then there's the other one that's like what's it called? Oh, I'm not logging back on to Dick Sword. Never mind. It's something with the all these different rooms where you can play music, and then everyone has their turn to play a song.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's really, really, really immature. And I just have to log out because it's so bad. Like America's Got Talent, only better.
Oh, so it's like America's Got Retards.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, like the last two times I've logged on, oh my god, all the other people sound like fucking studio musicians, like just
Yeah, because it's
outrageously
AI.
talented.
It's AI.
Um, no, I mean like playing guitar, singing in front of a camera on their own guitar, not mic, not amp. Still amateur, but like just incredibly. I mean, there's some incredibly talented people there.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, there's a different kind of folks that kind of come out on the graveyard shift, whether you're working graveyard shift or on the
Mm.
internet or whatever. It's just something about because you're like at the complete opposite end of the circadian rhythm for most of your neighborhood.
Correct.
Society.
Yeah,
So
you see things during those hours that you don't see any other time of the day.
that's right,
I know that. Yeah.
and the freaks come out at night.
Oh, yes, they do. Absolutely, they do, dude. When I was working at the gas station, I used to work at it was literally just a gas station. There were, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pumps, little station, and it was just like one of those little aluminum cubes, right?
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I mean, it was like there was enough room for me and a register, and then about the same amount of room on the other side of the counter. So you could really only have like one other person in there at a time.
So you
But
didn't
they
even
still
sell
loaded the
cigarettes
shit.
or pop or anything.
Well, we had that stuff, but it was all outside. So they would
Oh,
get it and bring it
right,
in, and I
and
would
then
scan
bring
it.
it. Yeah,
But we had like, like bags of nuts and
yeah.
cookies and that sort of thing inside. Um, but yeah, it's the only time in my life that I've been working a job and got robbed,
Oh wow!
and that was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Dude got away with, well, he didn't actually get away because he did get caught, but he managed to get, I think, like $150 maybe, and ended up
Wow!
going to prison for it.
Well, in that day and age, that's not even gonna get you an 8 ball,
No,
much less the horse.
I,
That's a
I
fail.
mean, it might get you the whore by itself, but what fun is a whore without the 8 ball? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you got to have scales to weigh it, right, Hunter? Bitches be stealing the coke.
That's right.
Where's those 2/10 of a gram, you bitch? Fucking whore.
So, have you been following the power outage story over there on the Iberian Peninsula? That was totally not a cyber attack. Did you notice that? They immediately came out. It was like, no, it wasn't a cyber attack. Wasn't a cyber attack.
No, it's a atmospheric
No,
phenomenon.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't because the government of
that, so that
Spain
that
quickly
was one of the.
withdrew that explanation
Oh,
and never
they
replaced
formally
it with anything.
withdrew it.
They withdrew it and they haven't replaced it with anything.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Shout out Stuxnet. I
The-
mean, if you're not going to destroy your centrifuges, we'll destroy them for you.
there you go.
Anyway, speaking of which, did you see where Bandar Abbas port was bombed there? That's the Indian Ocean port for the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Was that the big cloud of red smoke that
Uh-huh.
looked like the explosion in Beirut in
Yeah,
what was that 2020?
yeah, but that was, of course, farm chemical, not a hyperbaric bomb.
Right, right. But it just for
Because
whatever
farm
reason they
chemicals
just look
cause a shock
identical.
wave to knock out glass in 10
Right.
miles away. It was the anhydrous. That's what it was.
Wow.
That's what's in meth. Remember?
Oh yeah, well yeah, you can blow up a meth lab, no problem. I did see it. I'm kind of I don't know. They're trying to do something with Iran as part of the narrative. I mean, obviously that's supposed to be one of the big boogeymen for World War III, I guess. Is the whole thing. Um, but it's very ham-fisted the way they're going about this whole operation. It's almost like they think that it's a foregone conclusion that I don't know, either the public's just going to accept it or there's nothing that the public's going to be able to do about it anyway.
To
So
be
we're
fair,
just going
we
to go
have
for
the
it.
most compelling reason as American citizens now to support the bombing of Iran. So just follow here with me, okay?
All right, stay on that mic.
As Secretariat of Defense Hegseth explained, you see. So the the Houthis declared war on Israel and by proxy America
Right.
by blockading the Red Sea because they said they're protesting something about, the genocide of innocent human beings or something. I don't know, something silly. But so for that, they're attacking the Brits and the Americans, which
Right. They're doing
also included
terrorisms.
the French, but the French knew what to do when they heard the first sounds of shells, and that is put their hands in the air and run back to France. So it's just now at the U.S. and England there. They
Right.
learned their lesson. Surrender early. Um,
Yeah, that's what the
so,
French do.
so, anyways, as a result now of them using stick drones and slingshots against the Harry S. Truman, the
It's
literally
like
the Harry S.
Vietnam all
Truman.
over
Okay,
again.
they had one plane fall off the ship. They said due to bad weather when they were near Bursaid.
Bad weather. I
Then
heard it was because they were dodging fire.
no. I'm talking about the one about 12 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, 11
Oh,
months
that
ago.
one. Okay, yeah. All right.
Because that's after they passed Akateria and they're coming in toward Bursaid. They're still in the middle of the Med, but the Aegean. To
Can't
be
believe that
near
dude
Crete.
hasn't been fired yet. He's done it twice now.
So they just passed Heraklion, which is Crete, and they're heading to Bursaid, which is the beginning of the Suez Canal to get into the the Red Sea, Al Bab Mandab Strait
Right,
is
right,
the
right.
bottom end, which, as we described earlier, That would be the cervical entrance from the uterus to the vagina,
Right.
or from Djibouti straight out to that ass.
Right.
So, anyways, it's Camp Lemonnier, Africa. Stick with me here, folks.
Oh, okay.
So,
So yeah, Africa.
yeah. So, Bor Said is the north end of the Suez Canal, and on approach past Crete, according to allegedly bad weather, they lose their first $17.5 million jet airplane.
Right.
It's
Right.
real
Because it
sad,
was
Doc.
cheaper to lose it then than it was now.
Then they collide with a bulker, a grain ship at the mouth of the Suez, and that required, and it actually damaged one of the elevators that moves the planes
Mhm.
from the lower deck to the upper deck, which is, you see on an aircraft carrier, they like keep the top of it all cleared off because that's like the really flat part where the planes land and stuff.
Right.
So
And take
they have
off.
to use elevators on the side so you can like they have like a parking garage underneath where you can
Right.
fold in the wings and park all planes. So if you fuck up the elevator, that really fucks up the operational.
Well,
Anyway, so
yeah.
they had to fix that. They
Yeah.
had to fix that. They get through the Suez Canal. Well, then they have to take evasive action, and they cut a curve so tight. Oh, they lose another plane in the drink. But this is 2 weeks ago. They had launched a plane. I'm talking about Truman
Right.
had launched a plane with their sortie, and somebody with the Eisenhower sortie mistook it for a Houthi stick drone and shot it down with friendly fire. So we've now lost
Wait a minute. We're talking about what was this? An F-18
an F-18.
that was
So
mistaken for a stick drone
right, well, we thought it was part of the Houthi Air Force, I guess. I don't know. Friendly fire.
because they have Hornets.
Make it make sense.
Right.
So, anyways, out of what we're talking like 18 aircraft, we've now lost 3 out of 18 to the Houthis
All right. Well, you're
that
still.
don't
Let's see.
even have an air force.
That's only 1/6.
Yeah, we are.
We still got 15 more.
Yeah.
It's not like we're gonna lose all 15 of them in 1 year, Yona. Come on.
There's not that many storms at sea that can take our planes. Okay. I mean, they build these aircraft carriers to take off and land, not to weather storms. I mean, what do you expect?
Wow.
The worst thing is when it went off the deck, it took the fucking pusher cart and everything with it too
Oh, good
that
God.
they used for all the planes.
Jeez.
So hopefully they had
Yeah.
a
Well, now they ain't doing shit. So did they all get shore leave now? It's like I mean, we can't really like have you on the ship doing nothing. So
world's most terrifying
they
army, world's
look.
most intimidating navy,
Oh yeah.
world's most high tech.
Most high tech. That's right. Most advanced military in the history of the human species is,
So
I believe, the way the marketing goes.
I'm taking a long way to tell this story, but anyways, in response to all of this anti-Semitism and terrorism on the part of the stick drone Houthi Air Force, of course, it forced the United States to respond in kind with over, at this count, I think we're up to about 815 strikes. It was 750 the other day, but
Damn.
they've added another about 64. So
Is
well, I'll
is
just say
Yemen
over.
still
There's
on
been
the map?
over 800. There's been over 800 strikes now, airstrikes on those military targets all across Yemen. Um, but they don't really have a. Well, you don't really want to call it a civilian target because they're Arabs and they're all terrorists. Am I right, Israel? So,
Yeah,
anyway,
you don't want people to humanize them. That kind of defeats the whole purpose.
so then Hegseth makes the obvious connection that, okay, we see what you're doing, Iran. And the Houthis would not be attacking us with these stick drones if it wasn't for constant support from the Islamic Republic of Iran. So now, in order to defend the fact that the Harry Truman had to take such defensive action from those, it's just an allegation. It hasn't been proved yet. But word on the street is the Yemeni stick drones are actually made of Iranian twigs.
Hmm.
Yeah. We got them, folks. Got you red-handed, motherfucker. Now we got the casus belli to bomb the fuck out of Iran, John McCain. Here we go.
Well, yeah.
Because of the Houthis.
Well,
That's
because
what Hexa said. That is what fucking Hexa said. What that motherfucker said.
What? That we have the green light now?
He said that he literally said, I see what you're doing, Iran, supporting the Houthis. And we've caught you
He's a
red-handed.
fucking retard. Why are you paying attention to what he says? He's so fucking spun up because of all the bullshit that they've been pulling on him, trying to get him to screw up so that he can be thrown out of there. Like, why are you paying any attention to this retard at all?
Well, at first
have you actually seen his media appearances? He looks like a fucking speed freak.
And look, I thought he was sophisticated, and
he is sophisticated.
He works out, and I thought he was that thing that he was dipping down like it's part of the lid. It's got a paddle, and he's like mixing it together, and he's eating. I'm like, is that one of those Dannon yogurts where it's got the mucilix or something? But then, like, I saw the other side of the jar, and it was fucking Elmer's paste. Like, god damn, man, this motherfucker's eating paste off of the fucking paste paddle.
Yeah, he is young.
And come to find out, that wasn't Elmer's glue.
What is it, peanut butter?
That motherfucker owns some, I don't know what, man. They call it crocodile with 2 Ks or something. I don't know. We're in the future time. They got these new designer drugs, man.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy.
And they're developing more and more every day.
And the Hexith is on some really, really fucked up shit. It make you turbo retarded. I mean, you've heard him talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have to pull in a clip here. Hopefully I can figure out how to do this.
I don't think they would have changed it with the update. But then again, maybe I shouldn't say anything. I don't want to jinx us.
I'll find the clip, and then I'll send you the link to the clip, and you can play it.
I have to play it?
All but right. Then I won't hear it, right?
You won't hear it. That's right.
But if I play it, I'll hear it, and you'll hear it?
That's right.
Way to go, Streamlabs.
Yeah.
It does work, sort of.
Meh.
All right. Hexith accuses Iran.
Make sure the audience hears every word you're putting into the search.
There it is. There it is. Oh, man. Is it all Fox News?
Probably.
Dr. Carlson. Oh, you got me fucked up, son. Hexith threatens Iran over its support of the Houthis. Oh, there we go. OAN. No, I ain't going there
like
neither.
The same thing. Yeah, because that'll be like fucking Pasobic or something.
Oh, here we go. MSNBC. I'm going to keep scrolling. Jesus Christ.
Was he really on MSNBC?
No, the appearance was on Fox News.
They were talking about it on MSNBC. Gotcha. Which, by the way, I don't know if you heard the
journalism. They just do clips of other people's journalism.
Well, that is journalism's. That's journalism's now.
Clips of a clip.
Right. You gotta spend like 90% of your time on Twitter, or you're not doing journalism's right.
CNN, MSNBC, Wall Street Journal.
Any clip will be fine. Like, we don't have to be super
India.
picky. Jesus Christ, I was showing CNN earlier, Yona. Come on.
Michigan National Guard. No, I don't want that one. I want them talking shit to Iran. Oh, here we go. Info. No. Face the nation.
There you
God
go.
damn. All right, let me go up here and
That's
pick one of these
yes.
super fake
That's
and gay.
what, CIA broadcast system, I think.
Fuck it, we'll go to Tucker. CBN. Praise the Lord. All right, Pat Robertson. That's my day one
Like
Niagara
literally
right there.
any clip will do at this point.
All right, screen share. Nuclear talks postponed May 1st. But I thought we were threatening Iran.
We are, but we put it off a couple days.
At the table here, they are playing the same playbook that they have done with the previous administrations.
On the home front, additional auto tariffs about to kick in. Will they cause higher prices and industry layoffs?
There's actually very
Nobody
good news
cares.
coming down the line. Tariffs are not likely to
I'm really
increase
jamming
prices.
at this.
Precedent setting deliberations for the U.S. Supreme
That's not
Court
bad.
over government funding of religious charter schools.
This is about not discriminating against an organization for its religious beliefs or religious teachings. The state of Oklahoma
Oh,
is
dude,
going
this
to
is
lose,
like a
and we will
20-minute
have
video.
religious.
We need to find the spot where they're actually
Yeah,
talking
let's
about
go
the
to the
thing. We
part
don't
where
need
we're-
to see all the bullshit.
I was just jamming out to that music, man.
I know you were digging
That's
it,
really
but
good backing track.
they're talking and it's annoying the hell out of me.
It's her voice. It's her voice.
Well, yes.
Let's be honest.
Well, it's her voice, it's her face, it's everything about her, quite honestly.
God, she's got a toucan nose. You know, she's got a toucan nose. You know, she's fruity for some loot.
Oh, look at that. They got a nice little pentagram in there. Just sneaking that in there.
Whoa, yeah, whoa.
Look at that.
What's going on?
What say you?
Whoa. I thought this
Wow.
was. She's a witch, man. This is actually Satan shit going on.
Could
here.
be, yeah.
Well, I never did say anything about Iran. Y'all motherfuckers.
Well, as they said, the talks were postponed. So,
But he threatened them.
I mean, you should really probably just go to the Tucker clip.
Tehran threat. Here we go. 56 seconds.
On 21 minutes past the hour this morning at the live desk, we're tracking the developments out of Washington after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth threatened Iran over its continued support for Yemen's Houthi rebels. Hegseth warning Tehran, quote, "It will pay the consequence at the time and place of our choosing." That's the direct quote right there. Now, these comments come just hours after Britain's military carried out joint strikes with the U.S. forces against the Houthis, aimed at degrading the terrorist group's capabilities and preventing further attacks on international shipping. That has been a major problem for months. Britain's defense secretary told Parliament all planned targets were successfully hit. At the same time, the Trump administration continuing negotiations with Iran's leaders over its rapidly advancing nuclear program.
That's all there is. There's nothing to see here, folks.
No.
Luckily, no civilians were injured. They were all terrorists. Next story, please. All
There
right.
you go.
There you go.
All right, moving on. I know, it's at the time and place of our choosing. Really? Really, little Pete? Damn, you thought Mayor Pete was a fucking piece of work. This dude is about to set the high watermark, I think. Like, I think Rumsfeld...
He didn't even beat on his chest. He's doing the whole Jersey Shore
Well, that's
thing
what
where
I'm
he-
saying. I think Rumsfeld is looking up from hell, you know, from his fucking lava pit and just grinning from ear to ear. He's like, this kid's got the stuff.
Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Just wow. So, do you remember there was like a moment, when like all of a sudden the Dalai Lama just kind of like became super uncool because it was it was undeniable that he was like a major pedo?
Right? And then all of a sudden during COVID, he was okay again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's all good again.
Yep. Well, yeah, because
No.
COVID washed away his sins.
But like, if you sit on his lap like Easter Bunny, Santa Claus at the mall type thing for a picture, he may ask you to suck his tongue, which is it's a different culture.
It's happened before.
I try not to judge his holiness, so but you say it to one of my kids, man, I'll fucking kill you. Anyway, that's fucking weird. But that leads me to the segue. Oh God. So the Dalai Lama used to hang out in New Haven, Kentucky. Visited the Gethsemane Monastery several times because he was homies with Thomas Merton,
right,
aka Brother Lewis, author of 7-Story Mountain and all kinds of Bookie McBook things, all full of the words and sentence linings and stuff.
And we're talking about the current Lama, right?
Yep, same one. 10 jit fucking version 7.1.2 or whatever it is.
Right.
With the extra markup language. Anyways, so for some fucking reason, how the hell did I end up mixing all that shit? Oh, it began with the Vodchig Batsorig fucking throat singing in Mongolia. That's where I picked up the Yak Dung Trap Trail. And this Yak Dung, obviously I'm going to have an upcoming album. And it's probably
you got a lot of time on your hands.
It's probably going to be called Yak Dung. And that's where all of these latest songs from the Kingdom of Elephants, which is Laos, of course, or Cambodia, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, fucking Outer Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. Let's see, is it?
Yeah, the stands.
Becky, Stan.
Right.
What's God? Herman Cain. That's right. Godfather Pizza. Although it's the historic Yak Dung Trail. So I've been going down this wormhole. I really wasn't familiar with Nepali or Bhutanese or Tibetan music, I must admit. Hadn't heard much on the radio around here, that kind of stuff. So
probably in larger markets.
Took a real deep dive into that shit, and I was just amazed. It was pretty wild. And it's like, wow, I'm really high. Maybe I should just cut to the video, because this is the thing that everyone has to focus on.
The video,
of course, the video is intended for the radio audience. So concentrate as hard as you can with your ears to look at the expressions on the people's faces.
That's right.
In this music video.
I guess that means we need to go back here then.
Oh, well, if this is our...
Again, radio is for all of your senses, ladies and gentlemen, not just your ears. Don't be stingy.
Lumbisi. So, are you familiar with the Buddha story?
Somewhat.
So apparently there's more than one Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
It was to me. But some Buddhas are like,
well, you
really...
you could even attain Buddhahood if you applied yourself, Yona.
Right, but there are some certain more famous Buddhas that were historical figures that were born here and died there.
Well, one was called Jesus, allegedly.
Right. And well, the most revered Buddha in Himalayan range or Himalayan, however you want to say it. Well, let me just play the fucking song. Lumbini is the birthplace of the Buddha, all capitals. And
So he was a
when I
loud man.
when I refer to the Buddha, I'm talking about the Buddha whose pronouns were the and motherfucking. So, born in Lumbini, reached
I didn't even know they used
enlightenment.
pronouns back then.
Let's see. Now, Lumbini's in Nepal. Then he went across the border over to what's that other town where they got the orange and white striped roof with the patty mouth? Oh, Whataburger. That's down in Jalalpur. Anyways, that's where he achieved attainment because they got a great bathroom. Then over to like toward Bangladesh, close to Dead Fella, where he I don't know, something else happened. And then he went to the fourth place and he croaked. And those are the 4 holy sites that all the Buddhists follow. You're welcome, Buddhists. See, I didn't forget. I totally fucked it up too, but it's all good. Life is suffering.
Nobody
Get over
knows.
yourself.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
We'll get it in post.
So I went into this rabbit hole on this music, and I was really digging it and everything. I got all excited, put together a slamming fucking electronic part, and got the Roland MC303 plug in, and I'm programming my bass and got everything there. I download the music and I put it through the stem splitter so I can get the vocals and all the different instruments separated into separate stems. I guess that's what a stem splitter does, huh? Repeating myself. So, then when I go to play it, oh, it's a fucking mess. Oh, it's a total mess. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Checking all my stuff. Everything's lined up. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Wait a second. These motherfuckers are playing drums while they're singing. Let me go up here and put their drum track next to the other drum track. Oh, god damn. Well, let's see. This measure, they're at 114. The next measure, they're at 114.5. The next measure, they're at 112. The next 2 beats, they're at 115. Now they're at 111. Now they're back at, oh.
They're all over the fucking place.
8 fucking hours later.
Wow.
To get a 5 minutes worth of that fucking Nepali fucking, because I had to do it on 3 different songs, measure by measure by measure, because they had their
God.
little kazoo, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been doing so many drugs. I've like been having these hallucinogenic trips, and y'all just.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got some of the good stuff. Like you got some of the Sackler's leftover supply, right?
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Buddha, and smoke more the Buddha.
There you go. I think we might actually get to hear the song at some point, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, is it not working?
You haven't sent it over yet.
Oh, because I didn't hit the blue share button.
Right.
All right, let me rewind it.
Yeah, you might want to rewind it.
It turns out I'm already fucked up. Well, I've been fucked up.
It's all right. It's a holiday weekend.
Well, actually, I stay fucked up. Well, I'm always fucked up. Okay, here's the song. Y'all got to look at the guy on the drums. Everybody listening on the radio. This motherfucker on the drums. I can't. It's a different culture. I try not.
It's definitely a different culture.
Okay, here's the pimp. Time to kick this party up.
Oh, you can
said
tell
we
he's
party
the
now.
pimp because he's got the pimp coat.
And the fucking spade. Anybody else wearing sunglasses out there, Drizzle? Hell no.
Live from the 300 and
That motherfucker ain't playing them drums right, I'm telling you. And you can tell he's retarded just by his smile.
This might be why Rumble hates you. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Best part of the video is when Pimp Daddy, the whole village comes out and starts making it rain with money.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know who runs the town. Look, and got all the pictures there too. Kind of feels like a Polynesian or like a Hawaiian type deal.
Yeah.
These people are at like 12,000 feet above sea level, literally stuck up Mount Everest pothole. Oh, here we go.
There he is.
Get out the money. Come. I don't see somebody else wearing sunglasses. That's right. That's right.
Oh, we didn't get to see it all.
Oh, he just lays it on the ground. That's all he does.
What do we got next? Oh, nothing. We got nothing next.
The other one
There's
is
another one?
okay.
Oh my god.
So that was Nepal, as in Kathmandu. Okay. This other one is in Lhasa, which is like LLHA,
LHASA, Lhasa.
Lhasa, as in Tibet.
Right.
Or
Named after the famous disease,
that's
Lhasa
right.
fever.
That's right. And it's technically part of China now, right? Yay, communist.
What isn't?
So Bhutan is in the midst of being assimilated. Half of India's Arunachal
So is
Pradesh
Texas.
has already been taken in by it. And there's territorial disputes between China and Nepal. Nepal is close friends with India.
Mhm.
And of course, India and China have actually had come to blows, like their troops cutting and shooting and killing and stick fighting with one another on the border. They're uh, going up next to Kashmir, and here in the last couple of weeks, once again up above Srinagar in Upper Kashmir, because Kashmir is supposed to be a autonomous, self-ruling region. But just like the plight of the
Well,
Palestinians, they've
well,
been entirely ignored, and the northernmost parts of Kashmir have been taken in by Pakistan, and then the rest has just essentially been under Indian government. That is, however,
well, it's
until they began.
administered by India. I believe is the
Right, that was
proper
the
term.
prior stance until it was announced that they were going to build the Jammu Srinagar standard gauge railway. At which
Oh,
point they basically then extended water line, sewer line, gas line, standard gauge railroad line, and completely connected the capital of the Kashmir, that being Srinagar, via the Chenab River uh, railway bridge, which is the highest railway bridge on planet Earth. It's one of the 7 modern engineering marvels on planet Earth. Really incredible that they
so it
pulled it off.
also smokes more of the weeds then.
Yeah, it's the highest bridge on Earth. Close to 5,000 feet over top of the
Ooh,
river. Like, it's
I think that's
crazy. It's
taller
like,
than the Appalachians.
yeah, it's like almost a mile over the goddamn river. I'm not exaggerating. It's
Oh yeah,
nutso.
miles, a little more than 5,000 feet.
And then beyond that, maybe it might only be 4,500 instead of 5,000. Still, that's
That's
almost a fucking
close
mile.
enough. That's
That's
close
close to
enough.
fucking enough. Or maybe it was 365. Anyways, it was in meters, and then you have to convert to feet. And so back to this railway line. Beyond Chenab River, you've got the, Bartypool um, railway tunnel, and I mean, is it open yet? I wonder if it's open yet. Um, we might show a video in a little while, but actually, no, no. Long story short, because I was trying to keep it simple.
Right?
I want to get lost in the weeds, and that would be definitely going into the weeds,
Oh,
talking
I
about
see
those.
where Kashmir is. Okay.
So we've got
It's in that
Pakistan.
no man's land region.
Yeah. So we got Pakistan, India, and China that are all fighting in and around the Kashmir, as well as China and India fighting, throwing punches.
Right?
And some of the punches that they're throwing at one another are actually getting caught right in the mouth of Bhutan or Nepal or Arunachal Pradesh, the far easternmost part of India that wraps all the way around to the eastern side of Bangladesh, right?
Right?
And so we've got 3 regions or peoples or nations that are literally in between China and India along the spine of the Himalayan range. That being, um, well, four, in fact, Kashmir, and then Nepal, and then Bhutan, and then this place, Tibet. This is only about 5 minutes, but this is sand art and traditional music of the the Buddhist monk type peoples with the Yona stuff. So here you go.
Right on.
Blah blah blah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a potty break.
Doing some drugs here. So similar to Navajo art, the Dene. That's wild. Dropping out that sand one grain at a time. That's wild.
Is it supposed to be that low?
My piano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real subdued.
That's wild.
So they got these little like brass cone things that they scoop the sand up in of different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of rub it so that just one grain of sand comes out at a time. You can see it there where they're zooming in.
Right.
It's crazy, man.
That is crazy.
And just the detail in the art. And then when they get done making it, I'm not going to ruin it. They put the hair on that they give him his eyes and nose and put clothes on him and everything. That's a person.
Wow.
Made with different colored grains of fucking sand on the top of Mount Everest. If Derpa is the dumbass, then Sherpa would be the opposite.
Right. My God. Wow.
See, what's wild is the Navajo tribe, the Dene people, they got the exact same pattern, same colors and everything. Those are the 4 sacred directions.
Well, it's also
and in the center is the prayer wheel of enlightenment, where you're going above, inside, and below. That's all 7 sacred directions.
Right.
We do the same thing when we walk that white and gold line. That's what we call Cherokee stomp dance.
Right.
And we're turning the wheel of enlightenment so that we can all reach nirvana.
Right.
It's the same fucking thing, man.
Well, Yes, but it's a little bit different because in Buddhism, it's not 7 directions, it's 8. Because Buddhism is the eightfold path.
Right. Yeah, we only have 7 paths.
What are they doing?
And they just wipe it up, sweep it up, and it's gone.
Oh my God, I would fight each and every one of them right now. Fuck you.
Isn't that wild? And you know what? They'll wake up the next morning and they'll take 6 hours and they'll do it all again. Because, I mean, you're up on Mount Everest. What the fuck else is there to do?
That's
for it?
true.
I
It's
mean, you might as well just sit there and drizzle fucking sand on the floor every day. I mean, what the fuck else is there to do? Sniff yak dung? Come on, man.
They
You're
should.
in some bed, dude.
I guess they don't
Not much
have.
going on there.
Yeah, they don't have Starlink yet. Maybe that'll be soon. I don't know.
Well, they do have Chinese high-speed rail, so luckily, communism is there to help.
That is wild.
They'll just scoop it up by hand. They got a rag and now, here's what's wild. You seen all like the little the monk apprentices, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what their job is? They have to go sift through all of that sand.
What, they have
And
to
sift
separate it out into colors?
into separate colors
Oh my God. That's
for making
cruel.
the sand art.
That's absolutely cruel.
So if you thought being a bean counter was awful,
Wow. Separating grains of sand. That definitely sounds like punishment. Maybe that's what Rumsfeld is doing down in hell right now.
I believe that's why they ended child labor.
I don't think that was why they ended child labor. Is they couldn't figure out how to tax children at a higher rate than adults. That was why they ended child labor. They're like, no, we've got a better idea. Let's take those fuckers and indoctrinate them so they don't resist anymore.
If you had to sift sand and separate each grain by its color and hue, that would be. I can't think of anything else that would bore me more to tears.
Well, I mean, like you said, they're at the top of the highest mountain peaks in the world. What else are they going to do?
Yeah, there's not much else. I mean, there's nothing on the TV because they don't have TV. I don't think they're Buddhist. I mean,
right.
And the thing of it is, like the
I guess that's what you do when you reject all worldly. What's the word? Attachments.
Attachments. But like they got the Horton Hears a Who fucking Dr. Seuss trumpets and cymbals, and they're making their sand art on the floor there, and I can picture them having done that for like the last several thousand
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Easily. Which,
I don't know. Maybe it's a better way of life.
That's called
maybe
the samsara. It's called samsara mandala or something like that. Because it's where as you make the art, it's actually a prayer. And it obviously looked like a very prayerful art making experience up until the part where the dude starts scratching lines in it and they just all sweep it away. Then it's kind of like, whoa. But the whole point of that is that once you reach, what is it, paranirvana, or you basically croak or ascend, that you take the soma from the gods, and the soma erases all your worldly memories so that you can just be at one and at peace in the afterlife. And you're not thinking about shit that happened back on Street Shitter Avenue or wherever you were living.
That's only if you're from India, Yona. Come on. Don't be racist.
Again, I'm going to give credit where it's due. At least they don't wipe with their hands. I can respect a human that wipes their ass like a Rottweiler. Um, just drag them with the front paws
Right.
and you know,
Yeah.
but using the hands,
Imagine
you
how
know.
much sand you could pick up doing that.
So, at first, did I ever tell you the story about my friend Odenga Sezirahiga from Kigali, Rwanda?
I'm gonna say no. That's my final
So,
answer.
when I went, what was it? Pendant l'été 1999, j'ai attendu des cours à l'université là-bas. So, in the summer of 1999, or 1998, actually, I went to University of Laval in Ville Quebec, Quebec City, and after I'd been up there doing classes and stuff, eating
Oh, was
poutine.
that when Kamala Harris was up there?
Not sure.
Hmm.
I'm not sure her age and where she would have been at. Don't. Which I was not in She was in Montreal. I was in Quebec
Oh,
City.
gotcha. Okay. I thought
But
she was in. Anyway.
this would have been the summer program for 1998 when I was up there. But after I've been up there for a week and been going down by like the main hotel, the Chateau Frontenac and Place Saint Jean, Saint John Place, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, uh, you know, see, I like smoking the weeds all the time, and here I am in like Canada, and even worse, fucking French Canada, and I'm like, God damn, man, I gotta score some weed, man. I'm jonesing so fucking bad, and I keep smelling weed everywhere when I'm like going in like Place Saint Jean or skateboarding motherfucker with a Billabong shirt. I'm like, bro, there's gonna be weed around here, man. I gotta find it. So I'm on the bus, and this black dude gets on, walks past me, and says bonjour to me. So I said bonjour back, and he's like listening to the speaker thing on his belt. So, he's got his music blaring, and he's playing MC Solar, which is one of the rappers I actually really like from France, um, originally Senegal,
Hmm.
and obviously. So he's doing Concubine de l'Hémoglobine off of that album. Um, Qui sème le vent récolte, Qui sème le vent récolte le tempo. He who feels the wind knows the tempo. Um, Anyways, the MC Solar album, the Concubine de l'Hémoglobine, or the Concubine of Hemoglobin. That's a song about AIDS, of course.
Hmm.
And so, and so he's playing that rap song, and it gets to one line. I start rapping the fucking line because I've listened to
Right.
that album like 40, 50 fucking times at that point. Because it had Le Nouveau Western on there, where probably the most popular song that MC Solar had, where he's talking about Gary Cooper and Clint Eastwood and Le Nouveau Western and cowboys and Indians. Anyway, so I start rapping on some of the third verse to Concubine de l'Hémoglobine. He's like, "Oh, that's cool." At which point he gets off the bus. So I just get off the bus. He goes around the corner. I'm just kind of hanging back. And I go on around the corner. When I go around the corner, him and his dude are standing right there like, why are you following us?
Right.
I'm like, man, I ain't even from here. And they said, well, we're not from here either. You work for the government? I'm like, no, man. I'm just trying to smoke some weed. It's like, oh. And so dude pulls out a joint. His buddy, I gotta think. It was with H A M Hamdan. 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 Hamdan.
Hamdan.
Yeah. Hamdan. He is from Tunisia. I want to say no, yeah, it was Tunisia. Okay, and Odinga was from Kigali, Rwanda, which is or Kigali or Kigali. It's the capital city
Mm.
uh, in Rwanda, and um, there was a genocide there between the Hutu and the Tutsi tribes,
Right. That was
and
engineered.
right. Well, when that happened, um, Odinga, family name Sezirahiga, you know, he taught me. I mean, we hung out for a couple months in Canada, getting high every day. And he taught me some, Swahili. Nataka kavuta bangi. I want to smoke weed.
Come to think of it,
Sibang sulit
you
mo ang
may
gawa.
have mentioned him before, but keep going.
But yeah, I think I mentioned him before, but I don't think I went into the whole story. But long story short, how did he end up in Quebec? Because I just took a Greyhound, but Greyhound bus. But he
Well, yeah, he came from a completely different continent.
right. So
You have to cross oceans and shit.
well, I guess I'm getting out of chronological order. So they smoked the weed with me, and then they're like, "Well, hey, come on back to the place." So I go back to their place, and they've got groceries that they'd gotten on the bus. That's why
Oh,
they
fuck
were
yeah,
out
food
and out.
too. That's
And
yeah,
they
that's
got
my kind
the
of friend.
chicken and the cabbage and the hot sauce and stuff.
Oh,
So
fuck yeah.
he makes the traditional like Mauritanian style um chicken in a pot with rice, and then he fixes a spot in the middle of the floor with some newspaper, and then he folds over like a couple of bath towels, 3 bath towels, one for me to sit on,
Right.
one for him to sit on, one for the other one, and then he puts out a fingertip bowl for all three of us so that we can keep dipping our fingertips in the little bowl of water
Right.
because you only eat with the non-wiping hand.
Right.
You eat with the left hand because the right hand is for holding your dick and using your fingernails to scrape the poop off your butt lips because you don't use toilet paper. It's a different culture.
Mhm.
Try not to judge. Although, if you're wiping your own shit with your bare fingers, um, goddamn, man, come on now. I don't think you can call yourself a civilized person if you literally wipe the shit off your ass with your own fingertips.
I mean, Indians do. They call themselves civilized.
That's why I say if you shit on the sidewalk and then just drag your ass on the sidewalk to wipe off like a dachshund or
Mhm.
a Shih Tzu
Or a Rottweiler. I've
or a
seen
Rottweiler
Rottweilers do it. It's
or
funny
a
as
beagle,
hell.
especially if they have worms, and
Mhm.
humans get worms too.
Yes, they do.
Um,
There's parasites everywhere.
Yona pro tip: um, toilet paper if bidet is not available. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Your buddy from Rwanda
Rwanda, yeah. So,
set out the
anyways,
meal.
so we sit down and he gives the little prayer, and we sit, and so every day we'd have one meal together, and we're sitting on the floor and eating with the left hand, and like you get a little ball of rice in your left hand, and then you use the rice as kind of like a glove to then get the chicken out of the hot pot that's still bubbling so that you don't burn your hand because you don't have a fork or a spoon or a plate. But you're not uncivilized because you're not eating with the hand that wipes your poop. Um, there's rules. There's rules to the game, Driscoll. So,
There's always rules to the game. I'm just what.
um,
So what does winning in this game, this particular game, look like? I guess it's you
winning
survive the
is
meal.
surviving.
Yeah.
So that's where this came up. So he gets done and he's getting the water bowls up. And when he bends down, I can see this scar that goes from the very top of his shoulder on the right hand side. Nasty, just ugly, like big scar. Looks like somebody hit him with a chainsaw or something.
Right.
From the right
It's
shoulder.
probably a machete.
Yeah, it was a machete, cutting diagonal all the way across his back, all the way down to the top left of his hip bone,
Oh,
like
my
the
God.
hip bone coming out. I'm like, God damn. And so I said, vous êtes blessé si gravement. You are so gravely wounded. You know, I mean, comment tu blessé si gravement? How were you so gravely wounded? I remember I asked. He said, oh, that's when I died to save my life. I'm like, what? He's like, I died to save my life. I watched them hit my mother so hard in the neck that her head just rolled off. And then they ran through my father. And then they raped both of my sisters, but they were so loud that they cut their heads off and then kept raping them. And then they got my baby brother. He was only 4. And they came for me, so I just laid down and they hit me across the back twice. And I just played to be dead. And after a couple of hours, I was able to crawl out from under the bodies. And slowly, me and the others, we walked on foot to Senegal from Rwanda. I was like, Rwanda on foot the whole way? Yeah, it took us about 5 months.
Damn.
And I'm the only survivor from my entire family. And you want to hit this joint again? No, man, you go ahead and hit it again, man.
Right.
I've had no problems in my life by comparison. Seriously. Oh my God. Shout out to my homie Odinga. Anyway. Wow.
That's insane.
Wow. So you see your entire family get killed. You have to pray, pretend to be dead, and then you get to walk 1,500 fucking miles to Senegal. Wow. To because he ended up he was then able to get asylum flight from Aéroport Dakar to Aéroport Montreal, and that's how he got to Canada. He flew from
Oh my
Dakar.
God. So, because I had to look, so Senegal is on the East Coast. I'm sorry, the West Coast
The
of
West Coast
Africa.
of Africa.
Right.
And
And
Rwanda is on the east side of fucking Congo.
Right. Which is like the completely opposite side of the entire continent.
Mhm.
Good God.
And they couldn't go through the Congo because that's where the really, really bad guys are.
Right.
So they had to go north out of Rwanda and then cut
go up to Uganda and
all the way
around.
around. They had to go up through Uganda and cut
Jesus.
all the way across the Sahel through fucking Burkina Faso,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally across Cote d'Ivoire and then over into fucking Senegal on foot or riding on mopeds and motorcycles here and there.
Wow. That makes my trip down to Acapulco look like nothing.
I know, right? And when I came back home, all my family was still here. I didn't leave because I saw them all being brutally murdered. That was another thing that was different.
Right. That's crazy, man.
It puts things in perspective, anyway.
It does. Well, especially considering that entire episode between the Hutus and the Tutsis, like there is documentation that it was 100% engineered through propaganda.
That's right.
Like that should not have happened at all, period, ever. But people who decided, I don't know, they didn't have anything better to do or whatever, were like, hey, let's see if we can get these two tribes to murder each other. And you know what, Yona? They fucking did it.
And now they have the Vantois, the 23 unit 23, which I've talked about that before too, right?
Have you?
Right there, because see, okay, running right down, kind of like an axis running north south in orientation, but more to the eastern side of the midpoint of the African continent is essentially the Great Rift Valley, and eventually Africa will split into two, allegedly in about 3 million more years. Or I'm sorry, did I say million? I meant T with a trillion. But Great Rift Valley, and so you have this huge lake. Was it Lake Tanganyika, Lake Kiva? Big fucking lakes between Congo and Rwanda, and the country underneath of it, which would be
Burundi.
Bujumbura town, Burundi.
Yep.
And then going on down toward
Was that
well,
Lake?
it used to
Lake
be
Kivu?
roads. Yeah, Lake Kivu, which has got the volcanic gases venting and bubbling up through it all the time. It could explode at any time, like two of the other lakes have.
Oh, so they've got a similar thing going on there, like what we've got in Yellowstone, is what it sounds like.
Yes,
Okay.
because the Great Rift Valley is two tectonic plates that are pulling away from each other.
Gotcha.
So there's constant volcanic eruptions and
So it's a
what are
major
they called?
fault line.
Geysers and mud vents. Yeah, huge fault line through there. And
I think we might be the only podcast that talks about Africa, by the way.
huh.
I don't ever hear anybody else talking about Africa.
Well, have I? So anyways, I'm trying to make my way to the Lobito Railway because that's what I wanted to cover tonight. Which have you ever heard of Lobito or Katanga or Angola or any of that
Angola,
ring?
yeah.
Well, okay, so turns out like there's a shitload of cobalt and copper right where um the southern extremity of the Belgian Congo, also known as Zaire, currently known as the République démocratique du Congo, or Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? Not to be confused with the country of the Congo, which is to the north. Um, yeah, but that was occupied by France, whereas the DRC was occupied by King Leopold of Belgium. And I've got I have shown on Get Back to Hoarder before. I'm pretty sure the video from what was it 1906 in télé, uh, from the Le Chemin de Fer du Boma à Tsele. So the railroad from Boma to Tsele in Congo, 1906, black and white film. That is the oldest film in the Belgian museum or whatever in Brussels. And I found the footage and I was like, "Oh my god, these are like half naked Congo slaves being absolutely brutally whipped and worked to death, and they've got like 5 and 6 year olds as the motive power for all of their train cars because they're pushing them. They have little rod, sticks
What
to the
else are they going to
side.
do? They're 5.
Um, it was just wild. I think I'll get into that later. But back to the thing, Lobito Railway. I'm not going to get lost here. So I was talking about
Sounds kind of screwy.
how there's this so-called terrorist group, rebel movement, whatever, and they're supported by Uganda and Kampala government. That's Uganda,
Right.
and so and what they basically invaded and occupied the eastern borderlands of Congo territory that border to Uganda as well as Rwanda. And that international boundary line generally falls on top of this tectonic fault known as the African Great Rift Valley. Um, so, anywho, and the ostensibly this 23 or 23 rebel group, Unit 23, they are doing all this illegal rare earth mineral extraction there of like cobalt and lithium and gold and diamonds and
Oh yeah, all the
silver
good stuff. Yeah.
on and don't think of like soldiers with pickaxes, think of like soldiers in Caterpillar construction equipment.
Right.
And they're building, and they've actually blacktopped highways from that part of Congo straight into the Uganda where they're taking the ore to be crushed and then
Mhm.
bulk shipped. And 'cause they don't have much refinement or production there.
No,
Their
they just
job
have
is to
the
just
raw materials. So you got
their
to go
job is
extract
just get
them.
the raw material onto a bulk hauler and get it the fuck out of there. Now, I have covered before the Tazara Railway. I know we've covered that
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds
because
familiar.
that's the first real test case. That was kind of a pilot program for what is now known as the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. Because
Right.
Tazara Railway was a standard gauge railway project the Chinese engineered, built, and operated. Essentially, they still do. And it was in the 73, 74, 75. I think opened in 77, maybe. I should probably look it up
People can do that on their own if they're curious.
because this is what's going on here. We're talking about a geopolitical play jockeying for natural resources. Tazara Railway, also known as the Tanzania Zam Railway or the Uhuru Railway, is a 1,860 kilometer single track railway line connecting the Tanzanian port of Dar es Salaam
Hmm.
with Kapiri Mposhi in Zambia. It was constructed between 1970 and 1975 by China. Well, I was right. I did remember it correctly. The railway was designed to provide an alternate route for Zambian copper exports, bypassing South Africa and Rhodesia. Shout out Cecil Rhodes,
Hmm. Which we now call Zimbabwe.
which is now Zimbabwe. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
and it's another perfect opportunity for me to point out that I share a birthday with Cecil Rhodes.
blam. I know that. But see, it's called a segue, folks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this railway takes you from the eastern coast of Africa along the Indian Ocean near like what's that big island? Madagascar.
Mhm.
And goes straight into the middle of Africa all the way over to um Zambia, right where it's because it makes the connection in Kapiri Mposhi with the Katanga Railway that's coming just into Zambia from Democratic Republic of Congo. And the Katanga Railway takes you all the way down to a port on the Congo River itself, just above Kinshasa and Brazzaville, which are the two capital cities. Kinshasa, formerly Leopoldville, that's the capital of the Belgian Congo or Republique Democratique Congo. And to the north
Mhm.
side is Congo itself with Brazzaville, the French side versus the Belgian side. They both eat blue waffles. So the Katanga Railway, again, was for getting the copper out of this area where the Congo and Zambia all meet. You know what? Maybe I should show this on.
You want to show it?
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
I was just looking at it myself because that's the type of thing I do. I like having visual aids.
Yeah.
I just figure that everybody's like that, and they take the initiative to find it for themselves. Whatever.
So, like for example, my buddy in Rwanda, he had to go up through
Jesus.
Uganda and the Sudan. He cut through in N'Djamena, which is the capital of Chad, and then over through Niger, through Niamey, and through Timbuktu. He literally had to hike through fucking Timbuktu,
Hmm.
down through Bamako and into Dakar, and that's how he got the fuck out. But
I'd love to know how many miles that was. I mean, there's no way we're going to calculate it because we don't know
dude.
the route that he took. But
Wow. Well, I mean,
oof.
he told me they had to. They could not cross Cameroon. That was the whole problem. And
Huh.
so he had to go up around, and they didn't want to go to Congo because that's where the people that kill you are, with
Right.
the illegal mines. So he had to go over here through South Sudan, and over by like Darfur through Chad, Niger, Mali. This whole area is known collectively as the Sahel
Right.
because it's at the bottom of the Sahara Lakbar, or the Great Desert.
Right. About to be the breadbasket of the world.
That's right. So I was telling you about the two Congos. You got the French Congo and the Belgian Congo.
Right.
And if you zoom in here by Kinshasa, you got Kinshasa on one side, Brazzaville on the other, and the river in between, Congo River. And so let's go back over here to the Katanga mine. All right, now the border between Congo and Zambia is really fucked up right here.
I see that.
That's
They've
weird.
been
The
doing
way
some gerrymandering.
some, Lubumbashi, and then you get on down here to Kapiriamposhi, which, as you may recall, that's where the Chinese railway made connection. Because you see, we already have this railway from the Congo that goes down through Lusaka and into Rhodesia by way of Harare. And then you can connect to Gaborone on down to Joburg, which is South Africa, right? Gaborone, Joburg, Johannesburg.
Right.
And in order to get into,
That's where Omicron came from.
in order to get from the Zambia over to Rhodesia, or Zimbabwe, as it were, you have to go across what's called Victoria Falls. And right here,
Oh, wow.
this is the railway bridge where the railroad tracks go across. The one is the road, the other one is the railroad.
Right.
Coming through here. But anyways, that was the old way. It's a very, very curvy, very steep, narrow gauge rail line that goes from Lusaka to Harare and on out. So what they did, the Chinese said, "Fuck all that."
They weren't down with that shit?
Malawi was not playing ball, and of course, as you look at the map here, you may kind of start see there's lakes here, lakes here, lakes here, lakes here, more lake 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 here. That's the Rift Valley. That's where Africa is ripping itself apart. That's why you have all those boundary lines right there. Anyway, they couldn't fuck with Malawi, so what they had to do, the Chinese built this standard gauge line, the Tazara Railway, from Dar es Salaam to Kapiri. And that way they could export the copper straight, and the cobalt and everything else, straight out of the Katanga mines. And so from Kananga to Kamina to Katanga to Lubumbashi, it's all huge mines, particularly right here. Now, keep that in mind. On the other side, we also have mines right in this area, which is the eastern panhandle of Angola. All right. Angola has 3 railroad lines, none of which intersect with one another. There's the Luanda rail line that goes due east from Luanda and dead end. And you go almost all
Why
the
does
way
it dead
down
end?
to because the dead end's at the mine.
Ah, gotcha.
They're just there to steal shit and take it back somewhere else,
Oh,
right?
well, yeah.
So and then
That's
if
how
you
you
look
do it.
down here, uh the southern neighbor to Angola used to be administered by South Africa. They are ostensibly an independent country now. That would be Namibia, but it used to pretty much be Western South Africa.
Right.
There's such a
Looks
thing.
like mostly desert or scrubland.
And so there is a rail line that got right by the border with Namibia coming through Labongo, the Labongo rail line, but they didn't connect to nothing. However, the Lobito Railway. Lobito is the one and only good port on the west coast of Africa. When I say it's the one and only good port on
You're
the west
saying
coast of Africa, I mean
Libreville isn't a good port?
no. Lobito is the best port, arguably, on the entire west coast of Africa because you can get deep craft right up to the edge.
Huh.
And all the other ones require dredging. They're in the mouths of muddy rivers with constant floods and changing alluvial deposits and this and that and the other, or it's a fucking bluff. Like, for example, there is no navigation from Kinshasa and Brazzaville down here to Boma. We'll watch the Boma video here to finish out tonight, but we're going to finish on Africa. But the Boma to Chela, see, there it is, Tsela, Sela. That was the north end. Boma was the south end. We have a railroad right there, and there was the Matadi Railroad, and the Matadi Railroad went from Matadi just up to Kinshasa. So you would have to you have to go by ship to Matadi, then by rail to Kinshasa, then back on the water to get up here to. Let me find the town here. Na, 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 na. It's not Kisangani. Kindu, Ubundu, Isangi. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Isangi is where
That's
the
tiny.
Katanga, but that's a port onto the Congo. So that way you can ship your bulk down to Kinshasa from Isangi. But anyways, no, I was wrong. I found it. Katanga Railway goes to Yabo. Yeah, there's the rail line. There's the railroad tracks. I can see them on the map. There it is. You can see the crosshatch rail line. There is Gare de Lebo. That's French for train station of Lebo. Anyway, so that's their port onto the Kasai River, which is the Congo. Anyway, so from Yabo all the way to Kapiri, they have a good rail line connecting all these mines. And then Angola connected the Lobito Railway by way of Benguela, which has the passenger station. And it comes up through here, crosses the border from Luau to Dilolo, and then up through Duola, Mutui, Lilikasi, and over to Lubumbashi. So Angola is connected to Congo directly by rail. China has to connect to the Congo rail by way of Zambia. United States has signed agreements with Angola to refurbish and upgrade this rail line to standard gauge, and it's almost complete. The Chinese were doing it, and they backed out because Angola's busted broke. They speak Portuguese, for Christ's sake. Anyways, I mean, there's your clue. They're all black and they speak Portuguese. They ain't got no money. And they don't have the mineral resources that Congo does. Congo has all these mineral resources because that's how King Leopold drew the map. Anyways,
Right.
so
I
that's
knew it was
that.
one of those white guys. I just couldn't remember which one.
So the U.S. will be able to then pull stuff directly out of this side,
Hmm? And China's going to take it
and
from the
China's
other
going to
side.
take it from the other side. And so, in other words, this is what you call a DP action, where one is in the mouth,
Right.
the other one's in the ass, and they just kind of keep bouncing it back.
Well, in
and
that
forth
case, it would be a
back.
spit roast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spit roast. Yep. There you go.
That's
Once
interesting.
again, that's geography with the Yona. Hands on the map. All right. So, as promised, for the radio audience, we will show some footage from 1906 so you can enjoy it with your ears.
1906.
Wow.
Wow.
Because, Africa was conquered a little bit later when the Europeans cut it up and all that stuff.
Right.
Boma, boom. There it is. Boma, boom by Yona. 6 minutes for 11:56. Love all y'all guys.
Sure.
I'll make
Oh,
a
yeah,
quick
we are.
appeal. I want to make a quick appeal on that. I am fucked up. I normally don't do the value for value or ask for money or anything like that. I don't care, but well, right now I'm genuinely fucked up and down on my luck. So for the donationally inclined and those that just won the lottery, hey, shoot some Cash App or PayPal's over to the Yona. Much appreciated. I've been buying diapers and wipes. I've done it 3 times already with the money that's been sent my way. Thank you to uh, PAJLCW and OR. All right. I mean, I want to remember everybody, but I also don't want to like dox anybody.
Right.
Right. I think
Right.
I'm doing it right. So, anything else before we throw them to the joys of Belgian slavery?
Well, I'll second the call for value to be sent the Yona's way because again, the Yona shows up each and every week that he's absolutely capable of doing it and always pulls something out of, I'm not quite sure which orifice it comes from, but he facts us harder each and every week, ladies and gentlemen. If you
And now you
get,
know about the libido corridor.
that's right.
Libido corridor, not libido, libido. Like,
If you've ever gotten any value from the Yona on this program, now would be the time to return a little bit back to him. I think definitely. Had the universe not decided to put some jackass a couple of feet in front of him on the road to try to kill him, essentially,
yeah.
we wouldn't be making the appeal. But we're at that point where send some good karma back. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you, and it's going to help the owner too. It's what they call a win-win.
Funny thing is, when I texted you and I said, you know what? Now that I finally made it home and I kissed the kids and everything, I'm just going to run down here to the clinic, get my neck x-rayed real quick, make sure nothing's broken. Remember I
Right.
said that?
Yeah.
And I said, hopefully I should be back in time to do the show.
Yeah,
So,
you thought you were going to be back well in time. I was like, no, you're going. They're going to hold on to you. They see a cow. They're like, we got to milk this fucker.
Because I had this hunch, I had this gut feeling that something's bad wrong. I think I may have broke something in my neck. And moral of the story, when you have a gut feeling, when you have a hunch, and everyone else is telling you you're crazy, you're not.
No.
You're right. They're dumb.
Trust the hunch.
Trust your gut. Go with your gut. And so I've got it pulled up here. we're going to dedicate this replay of De Boma à Tela par la ligne du chemin de fer du Mayumbe. We're going to dedicate this to King Leopold of Belgium. No, we're going to dedicate this to Patrice Lumumba.
There you go.
How you like that? Love you guys. Wage Doligi. Catch you next Thursday. And to find out more, fuck around.
Eseto kokozulu yambula ezina lyako lyazikiswanga ekintino kyakukiza oluzolo lwako lwabangama ovansi nze kokozulu utuvano lyakweto walungulu kyalungu utuloloko masumu beto endoloka tulolokanga atantweto utufidiko ulamuntu kumuni uturuza munabi kali kyakwe kintino yengolo yonkembo yakwelembo ingelila.
So that vocal that you just heard, that's where I mixed in the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer being said in Congo. Because of course Belgium conquered the local populace with converting, the Christian prayer in Congo language or Congo language. Congo tribe. Like King Kong. Look at the size of that timber, son. Coconut. The natives are employed in their work. Shoes are optional. Oh, here's some kids pushing the cart. I told you about this before. 5-year-old motive power. Plastic Belgium. Plastic. Slow it down. That makes me mad. Well, he did a hell of a job on that railroad. I just paused it so that the audience can look at that guy's back. Those are scars on his back from being mercilessly whipped.
Whips, yeah.
Anyway,
That's what it looks like.
those are whip scars. I didn't want anybody to miss that. That dude, man, fuck Belgium, dude. Fuck you, Belgium. This is in the 20th century. This is in the 1900s, okay? 1906, 07, 08, 09, 1910, 1911.
Mangama, 26, Nzeko Kozo. Ivano ya Puerto, Colombo, Kenya. Utulolo Kona Sululeto, Ndoloka, Lorokanga, Akanke. Utu Fidiko, Lamonte Kumani, Utu Ruzani, Daddy Kiapo Kimpene, Yembolo, Yonkembo, Yakuelembo, Ringo.
We have full frontal nudity.
It's not the first time. Won't be the last time.
But I would generally classify this as National Geographic level nudity, though.
Who knows? Next time it might be you.
Yeah. I get naked in the woods quite often when I frolic.